Good evening and welcome to Q's on the Move. My name is Brother Donald Williams. I'll be your host for this segment of Q's on the Move. I'm the proud chairman of the Fatherhood Initiative and mentoring for the 2nd District of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. We are so excited to provide leadership for this important, this impactful, and meaningful work that continues under the 36th District Representative J. Kendall Smalls, and a shout out to our 1st Vice District Representative Ronnie Bryant Kent. Q's on the Move is a weekly podcast. It's about Omega men that are doing some incredible work across the 5 states of New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, and Maryland, with mentoring our young males and helping dads become effective fathers. And friends, I want you to connect with your chapter in your community. That's the bottom line. We got a lot of chapters in the 5 states. So find a chapter in your community and support all the planned activity with mentoring. I want you to, you can find us on the 2nd District Omega Psi Phi website. To find us a chapter in your community, go to www.opp2d.org. I'm going to try that again. www.opp2d.org. My friends, we are so glad that you've joined us today. We have our topic today is very sensitive, but it's an important subject of a serious nature. We want to center our conversation this evening on shared parenting. And at the same time, you are here two moving tributes of loved ones that have left us too soon. My guest for this podcast is Brother Jeff Diggs, the immediate past bosses of Mu Road Chapter in Annapolis. You will soon be joined through Skype with C.J. Harris, a young youth leader of UCF Youth Development Organization, my mentoring organization, and my good friend here and co-worker, Gerald Williams. But before we take this journey to raise awareness about shared parenting, you can call in. The call-in number is 301-429-9247. Or go to the Facebook website, WBGR/entertainment/Q's on the Move. Our podcast is every Tuesday from 8:30 to 9. So, Brother Diggs, let's begin the conversation with you. First, I want to thank you for all you do for our fraternity. And I want to thank you for what you're doing in the Annapolis community and for being a very good friend to yours truly, man. Love you. And now we got you as the chairman, the deputy chairman of the Fatherhood Initiative and Mentoring, just because of the heart you have. Yes. Brother Diggs, you have represented the 2nd District in Annapolis, and you have testified on behalf of the fraternity with Delegate Pamela Queen at hearings on shared parenting. So here's the first question, my brother. Give our listeners an insight about what exactly is shared parenting.
Well, shared parenting is it's quite a bit like it sounds. But I want to kind of put this out there before we delve into that. Is when we start looking at shared parenting, I would advise anyone, based on my experience and what I've seen, keep your family out of the court system whenever possible. Because basically, once you enter the court system, I mean, you could actually have someone that you fundamentally disagree with that's structuring your family and how your family is going to be developed, so to speak.
Wow.
So with that, under the Maryland law, there's 2 shared parenting. There's statutes. There's the shared physical custody, which means the child or the children spends equal time with both parents.
Okay.
And then you have the shared legal custody, in which, in that case, the child or children, both parents have some equal input as to the children's upbringing as far as education, health decisions, and those sort of things. And also with Maryland to be considered a shared parenting, the children has to stay with the non-custodial parent for a minimum of 128 overnight visits. So a child can stay with you for 300 days. If they don't have 128 overnight visits, you still don't have shared parenting rights.
Now you use the term non-custodial. What
Okay, a custodial parent is whomever the courts deem the children will live with. That's the physical custody. The non-custodial parent is usually the parent that has to pay child support. And I say parent because it could be either way.
Well, tell me this: why is this arrangement extremely important in our community?
Well, for several reasons. We've had cases that have come through, and they're more common than not, whereby one of the parents is awarded physical custody, and the non-custodial parent may fall ill. If that parent don't rush to the courts to ask for a modification, they could actually be held contempt of court and jail.
Oh my!
Even though they may be physically incapacitated, they could be held liable. And these are things that is the reason why I suggest that whatever is possible, keep your families out of the court.
That makes it. Roger that.
Yes.
Hey, look. Last question for you. You had an opportunity, I think, last year to deliver a key message on shared parenting in front of lawmakers in Annapolis. Supporting Delegate Queen.
Yes.
What was that message?
Well, it was around shared parenting and more specific around fatherhood. We've had these issues of the fathers being demonized. In cases where you would have these young men who would not have the ability to pay or pay as much as the courts deemed that they should pay, and it was of the mindset that they were deadbeats. They didn't want to pay. And some of these same fathers, some of their biggest issues that they had was they didn't get the opportunity to see their children. And they wanted more time with their children. Not understanding if these young men, or even sometime older, had the opportunity to spend more time with their children, well, maybe they would be more apt to get out there and work a little harder, do what they have to do, build a better relationship with the other parent, so that they can build better children. And the name of the game, the end game in all of this, is to build better children.
Amen. On this fatherhood journey, what we have learned is that dads actually want to be in their kids' lives.
Absolutely.
So thank you again for representing 2nd District and for being a good friend. Now we want to go to CJ Harris, who is one of my future leaders. I have a youth organization, and Brother CJ Harris is one of my mentees, and he will provide you, the listeners, with what shared parenting looked like from a child perspective. We can get him on the, and we're going to Skype CJ in. Are we going to get CJ? So, hey, while we got time, okay, so with that, with CJ, again, I have a youth organization.
He's here.
All right, hey, CJ, how you doing? Can you hear me? Okay, keep talking. This technology is something else. I cannot hear you. Okay, so hey, look, we're gonna keep it moving. I'm gonna turn to my good friend Gerald Williams. So Gerald, can't get the sound there. Now Gerald is a good friend.
Yes.
And a co-worker and he is here to share his testimony. I just want to tell you, we're excited to have you here. We've talked many times, and we shared the conversation about what I call you have been an excellent role model for your co-workers, and how you love your son, and how you demonstrated uh, fatherhood in the situation where you're not actually, you weren't in the home, but you certainly were all in for 24/7.
24/7.
So I'm going to turn it over to you. Come as you would like to talk.
Okay, first of all is that I like to say is that we're talking about separation of home and things like that. If in my case is the Bible's never wrong. It's always better to be married. You know, and I would ask if you ask me that, tell any young brother or any brother or woman that say I said it's better to be married and raising a child, because two people with one direction with input in the same place, same time, it's a beautiful thing. I never been experienced that though. So and that so I had to go the route where it's being as a single father and working through them with the mother to raise a child, and that itself is a journey. You have to be prayed up, aware, and no excuses. No excuses. The first thing you gotta do, you gotta let all of your excuses out the door, because it's a journey. It's two people with two different opinions, and you're not there.
Right.
And so, and then in that way is that you have this kid, this child, who's the image of you, and which is my son was the image of me, and you and so many things you miss and so many things you don't miss. But the beautiful thing is that I was able to have him. I had him all the day when I had him. He was always with me. So that means that I got to know all his little moves, his little quirks, and everything else, and then I was able to share. But it at some point though, it seemed like it's never enough. And so, and then as he got older, and he expand his growth, and then he play ball,
Yeah.
and then he goes to maturity and becomes this young man. Right around 14, I always share this picture. It's because this was 14. This is his little changes to a young man. It tickles me. It's like he's like I say, okay, Dad. He has opinions now. He has strong opinions. You know what I mean?
Right.
The opinions that sometimes I'm listening to. Sometimes I kind of like okay, you know. But yes, he has opinions. But it's such a rewarding thing. But then taking his opinions, and then taking your knowledge and your experience, and then taking all that and then taking them back to the house he lived in.
Wow.
The mics get dropped sometimes. The mic get dropped. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's when it takes God in it. God got to be in it, because a lot of brothers, as you mentioned, they give up. They give up on that fight. You know what I mean? They give up on that fight because they don't have the control. And the control is sometimes is you don't want to you fight not to relinquish it all, but sometimes is you have to sometimes be humbled.
Yeah.
All those things that's written scripturally is reality, because in my case is it all came back home. You know what I mean? It all came back home, so CJ and I have different paths but different losses. But like I said, to get to my point is that you want so much, and then all of a sudden you have so much input, and then you ran out of time. My son was murdered, and then all of a sudden as you go through the process of what could I have done, what should I have done, was that enough? As you know, Don, when you took him to school to the circuit, the North Carolina circuit, to find a school for him, we thought we had a school for him. You know, and that was his proud moment. It's my proud moment to see him get on that bus and that journey. But you know, it's but God takes a loss, and then He give you character. The pain is still there,
Right.
all the stuff that you think is don't go nowhere, but it just channel a different place. And I meet powerful young brothers like yourself, you're my man, and it's like, wow, this is what God's plan. And my prayer is he said he'll show me a way. And that's why I'm here. He showed me a way, and today I meet him and got you, and it's just like it's beautiful because, like I said, it took a village to raise Jerry. It took so many people, input from everybody, every friend I had. It was like from the football game to school to talking to him about school to get him a tutor from a friend. And Jerry, I said, "What kind of charge you? What do you want to pay?" He said, "No, this is no charge. This is your son. Let me tutor him. When you took him to school, sit down. What I owe you? You don't owe me nothing. You just take me. We got him to go down North Carolina Central, North Carolina. You know what I mean? All the A&T. You know what I mean? And so in Bennett, all those schools that we were going to. So it's so you understand this that God's plan is not always our plan, but it's a plan that He built us on to build a foundation so we can go forward and we can share our experiences. And of course, CJ will have a different story from a different place, but one thing is that the healing and the loving don't ever stop.
And much love to you, my brothers. My listeners, I tell you, we're going to go in an attic of emotions and pain and joy. And my brother Gerald here had the privilege of spending 3 days visiting 10 schools in 3 days in the great state of North Carolina. And we got to know Jerry, and what a delightful young man. The future was so bright. Yeah. Again, another father who lost his son that has gone and left the earth way too soon, way too early. But I appreciate you coming in and sharing from the heart. So now I turn to CJ. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, we got audio and we got visual. CJ, again, is one of my mentees and my mini-me. And I just want to tell you, CJ, how proud I am of you. It's a blessing to witness your growth and development as you continue through the adolescent journey. And so I just want to ask you, how long have you been with UCF Youth Development Organization? Introduce yourself.
I've been in UCF since the 5th grade, and I'm in 9th grade now, so this is my 5th year being in UCF.
Okay, I guess I should have started with you introducing yourself, and because that's how we do in the meeting. You want to try that?
Sure. Hello, everyone. My name is CJ Harris. I go to Sherwood High School. I'm in 9th grade. Some things about me is that I like engineering. I want to go to college in Stanford, hopefully, for mechanical engineering. I like sports, specifically football and basketball, and yeah.
What was one of your most memorable experiences with UCF?
I always love going to the Game Changer Conference every year. That I learned how to tie there. I've learned many mentors that have shown me how to conduct myself when I'm talking to people, when I'm giving people a handshake, things like that. And then another thing that UCF has helped me with is they helped make a NESB Junior program, which is the National Society of Black Engineers, and it's a junior program for kids that are not in college yet. And we actually went to Pittsburgh last March, I believe, and there were a ton of black engineers there, and I've learned so much, and they helped me make a resume and just different careers in the STEM field.
Sound like a great experience. Just a plug for the Game Changer Conference. That's March the 23rd. It's a one-day mentoring conference on March the 23rd, impacting 500 boys of color. And this is our 8th year. We're excited about that. Bring your boys to the Game Changer Conference. Hey, CJ, we were driving about 2 weeks ago, and we were talking about this session of Cues on the Move of shared parenting. And the thought came, and then I asked you, I want you to repeat, hey, how does that look like to a child, shared parenting? What did you experience?
With shared parenting, for at least for me, it's when like you have two parents and they can be separated for some reason, and like you can either be moving between two houses, things like that. And for me, it was just I felt like whenever I was with my mom, at the end of the time when I would have to go to my dad, I felt like it was a good time. Like things were getting strained with my mother, and I just need to go over to my dad and spend some time with him. I don't think that I would have turned out. I don't think that I would have be the person I am if I only had my mom or if I only had my dad. I feel like um, I really needed both parents to know that they both loved me and that they both had my back and they were both there for me.
Amen.
Amen.
Very good. Very good. One of my co-workers, single mother, has a son, and we were talking about this segment, and she wanted to say, "Well, ask CJ about coping strategies. You know, when you with your mom, what some of your coping strategies? Because you're kind of in the middle. Can you speak to that?"
Yeah. Some things I did is that I clarified with my parents what exactly I might be frustrated or I might have an issue with, and going to them directly and telling them, okay, I feel like you're doing this, and I feel like it's either not helping me, or I feel like I have a certain issue with it. So we would try to talk about it and see what could be best so that uh, we could still have a good relationship, but I could still get the stuff done that they needed me to get done.
Very good. Again, so proud of you, CJ. I want to encourage you to stay on this track. We expect big things from you. You're going to be one of the future leaders that can do big things and make your mama proud. Hey, look.
Thank you.
We're so blessed to have. This is Aaron Williams, and so blessed. No relation
To us.
to us. She's a graduate of Morgan State University, and Aaron had touched so many people's lives in so many ways. She was known to UCF members as CJ Mom. You know, you lose your. It's not Aaron. It was CJ Mom, and her family. You know, she was a lovely daughter, a lovely sister, and I can tell you, she was a true friend, and had a warm spirit. And she was one of. I can tell you this: we all are smiling because she loved that CJ. There was no doubt about it. So, CJ, you want to give a tribute to your mom as a closing remark?
Yeah. Well, she was an amazing woman. She still is, and she's taught me a lot of things that I know now with how I need to conduct myself. Um, that I need to make sure that I do my chores before she gets home. That I need to make sure that I finish all my homework, and just making sure that I'm setting myself up for success and making sure that I knew that I was loved and I wasn't just a number, as a lot of people may consider themselves. And I just thank her so much for that and for being an amazing mother, an amazing parent, and just an amazing person.
Hey, I know you miss her. We truly miss her. But your dad is doing a nice job. I call
He
him.
is.
He's doing a great job.
Yeah.
He's doing a great job.
I check on him at least twice a month, and then we see him at the monthly meeting. So much blessings, and keep doing what you're doing, young man. So my listeners, you know, in closing, I guess the outcome is to do right by your children. You know, you got to let your dads be engaged in their life and help, and let them be a helping hand to help them, your children grow and glow and develop into young, responsible people in a positive way. And so, again, we have learned a lot on this fatherhood initiative journey. And bottom line for me is that the role that fathers play is immeasurable. And then, since this is Black History Month, the quote that comes to my mind is that tomorrow is now today, and the sense of urgency is now, and we got to do everything in the African American community to raise our boys and our young ladies the best that we know how, and it does take a village. And so with that, I want to invite you to Cues on the Move for next Tuesday, 8:30 till 9 o'clock. We have another chapter come in and talk to you about the incredible work, what they are doing in their community in terms of mentoring young males and helping dads become better fathers. Until then, see you next Tuesday. Thank you so much, my friends.